So January NPD is finally in, and you can see from the headline here, the Switch, the PlayStation 4, and Xbox One sales are all on fire. What's going on, guys? Randall Thor 19, the man with the million, back again with another video. And if you missed the podcast yesterday with me and Jez cording the Xbox 2, make sure you check it out. It's about an hour and 40 minutes long. We talk about the Gears 5 rumors, about the Coalition not working on the game, and splash damages, the games with gold, Major Nelson teasing new features. It's all there. Make sure you check it out when you have the time, because it's pretty good. But this is going to be about NPDs. You guys know I love talking sales. Very interesting to me to see what's popular, what games are doing well, all that stuff. And January was going to be an interesting month. You know, the Xbox One X is still $500, and you would figure a lot of people wouldn't buy it in January. You know, most people would buy it in November and December. So it was very interesting to see how this month plays out. And it pretty much played out like you would expect. Switch was number one, which just seems to be a common theme these days. Nintendo Switch on fire. PlayStation 4 ended up being number two, but actually ended up taking in the most revenue, because you figure the PlayStation 4 has the Pro and the Slim units, where the Switch is just the $300 version, and the Xbox One came in third. And I think it came in second in revenue, although I'm not too sure on that because it doesn't really say, because it had the higher end models. But this article and Matt Piscarella on Twitter, they basically say everything's good in the gaming industry. Hardware sales doubled year over year, and Microsoft, Nintendo, and Sony all benefited from it. Spending gains were driven by the Switch, Xbox One, and PlayStation 4. So you're actually in a scenario now where the video game industry is really strong, better than ever. All these companies are doing well. Of course, there are going to be people out there using this information to say Xbox One lost again, even with the new system, all that stuff. But clearly, when you have the full access to information like people at NPD do and all this stuff, they're saying that they're all on fire. In fact, if you scroll down the article, it says PlayStation 4, Switch, and Xbox One all performed well in the month of January. In dollar sales, the gap between the top-selling platform and the third best-selling was only 3%. So that is incredibly close. Nintendo Switch was the month's best-selling platform in unit sales, while the PlayStation 4 topped dollar sales. And the Xbox One dollar and unit sales in January 2018 are the highest achieved for the platform in a January month. So there you go. Basically saying that Xbox One, since it came out in January of 2013, had its best January in those 4 or 5 years since it's been out. Of course, Switch number one, PlayStation 4 number two, but they're all selling incredibly well. And the revenue-wise, the dollar sales are all incredibly close. So, video game industry is doing incredibly well. It's great to see all three consoles performing admirably, selling copies of games, selling hardware, selling services, so all these companies can get more money to make more games for us gamers to play. Now, of course, when you switch over, you gotta talk about the games as well, and Monster Hunter was number one, even slayed Call of Duty. Now, this game seems to have taken over. I see a lot of people playing Monster Hunter. I believe Capcom said that they shipped 6 million. It's like the best-selling Monster Hunter of all time. And I can see them continuing on with this franchise and putting it on PlayStation and Xbox. And the thing about it is it's performing exceptionally well on Xbox, where a lot of Japanese games tend not to. For whatever reason, Monster Hunter is bucking the trend on Xbox. Yes, this game sold more on PlayStation. PlayStation has a bigger worldwide audience than Xbox. PlayStation is relevant in Japan, where Xbox is not. But all those extra sales do count towards the 6 million. So Monster Hunter is the number one game on PlayStation. The thing about it, it's also the number one game on Xbox as well. So you can see right here, sales of Monster Hunter World represent an all-time launch month high for the Monster Hunter franchise in the United States. Total software is 1 billion, up 60% from January of last year. Hardware is up 278 million, which is up 119% from last year. PC and console software, all that stuff is all up a great percentage points from January of 2017. So the trajectory is up, not down, right? So when you look at the top 20 games here, now keep in mind that this includes digital. I know there's always a discussion about whether or not these games include their digital counterparts, and yes, they do, except, of course, Nintendo games, because that is what the 2 icon there means. It means no digital sales, and this means no physical sale, or no PC sales. So no Monster Hunter World #1, Dragon Ball, Fighter Z, Call of Duty, and there we go with PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds. Was the 4th, I'm not going to say best-selling, because the way NPD charts their, charts now, or the way they rank them, is no longer by unit sales. It is now ranked by revenue. And they made this change sometime last year. So for PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds to be 4th in revenue, considering its half price, means it probably sold a lot. And we do know that Microsoft recently, sometime back in January, said that there are over 4 million players on the Xbox One version of PUBG. And this is right here is all just Xbox One version of PUBG, because there's no PC, data included in that. So PUBG is killing it on Xbox, selling a lot of copies. And you can see it beat out Grand Theft Auto 5, NBA 2K18, the games on the Switch that everybody needs, Mario and Breath of the Wild, the ones that are helping the Switch attain such a high of like 15, 16 million. Mario Kart 8, Madden, Star Wars, Assassin's Creed, UFC 3, Tom Clancy, FIFA 18, Dragon Ball Xenoverse, The Sims, Splatoon, Decida, Final Fantasy NT, and Need for Speed Payback. So that was the top 20 for software. Monster Hunter World, like I mentioned, #1, selling well. And then, of course, they break it down by Xbox One, PS4. As you can see, Monster Hunter World was #1 on both platforms, with PUBG coming at #2 on Xbox, Dragon Ball FighterZ coming in at #2 on PlayStation. But for the most part, these lists are pretty much virtually identical. Some spots are kind of, Grand Theft Auto 5 is 5 on PlayStation, but 4, or actually 5 on Xbox. But, Dragon Ball 4 here, 2 here. I mean, they're pretty much exactly the same. FIFA appears on PlayStation, but not on Xbox. And this got PUBG. This got the Final Fantasy game. So they're all virtually similar. And, of course, here's the Switch with basically all Nintendo games, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, until Elder Scrolls. So the video game industry seems pretty healthy, and that is an excellent thing. And it's also pretty damn cool to see a Japanese game like Monster Hunter take the #1 spot on Xbox, kind of knocking down those biases and those responses from people saying that, hey, Xbox doesn't buy the Xbox community, the people on Xbox One, on Xbox Live, they don't support Japanese games. Well, now you can say Monster Hunter throws a wrench into that narrative. Because here it is, #1 on PlayStation and #1 on Xbox. Best-selling Monster Hunter of all time. So that narrative is kind of maybe not true anymore, although I would like to see a little bit more evidence for other Japanese games on here. Monster Hunter may be the exception to the rule. Maybe this is the start of a trend, since the video game industry seems to be doing quite well. But I don't know. This is all good news. I mean, I know people will run with it saying Switch was #1 and the rest suck, or Xbox is #3 and they suck. But as you guys can tell from VentureBeat, from NPD, the people who have the information, instead of people with agendas, they all did incredibly well. They're all on fire. Switch was #1. It's doing incredible. PlayStation 4 took in the most revenue. It's almost at 80 million worldwide, and the Xbox One just had its best-selling January since 2013. So nothing but roses for everybody. But that's the video. Hope you enjoyed this look at the NPD figures and the top selling games of the January 2018. If you did, make sure you leave a like. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Hit the notification so you're always notified. You know this all this stuff because I say it at the end of every video instead of at the beginning like most people. Yep. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I will see everyone in the next video. Later.